Well, this is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has just finished delivering the State of the Nation address. This door soon would be the exit point for members of Parliament who are pouring out of the chamber. Unfortunately, it would be just one-sided chamber that would be coming out, the majority side, which is the members of Parliament representing the New Patriotic Party. The National Democratic Congress side, or the opposition or minority side, has staged a walkout. The President has been speaking for over 2 hours, addressing Parliament, albeit one-sided Parliament. They have stated several reasons for walking out. We'll be hearing from them shortly. But let's hear the details of what the President has been presenting to Ghanaians through their elected representatives. He said the country is healthy.
What started as a usual day for the delivery of the sessional address turned into unexpected scenes on the most important day on the parliamentary calendar. In protest of a wide range of issues which were displayed on sheets, the minority walked out of the chamber just before the President began his delivery. Despite the earlier happenings, the President proceeded to fulfill his constitutional duty, beginning with the critically acclaimed Year of Return initiative before addressing the thorny issue of Ghanaians in China in the wake of the deadly coronavirus.
The Ghana government, through its mission, also supplies logistics, and the embassy has given, so far, $500 United States to each student. However, we know that no amount of logistics will make up for the extreme stress and trauma that these young people are going through. And I treat members of this honorable House to set an example by helping to pour oil over troubled waters instead of instigating tension and spreading fear and panic among the young people.
He then addressed the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey.
The nation is grateful for the intervention of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the threat posed to the future of our country by Galamsey is grave, and we cannot shirk our responsibilities in dealing with it. I'm appealing to the media coalition not to be daunted by the difficulties in the fight against Galamsey. Government will not weaken its stance and welcomes the continuous support of the media coalition.
He had some words regarding the popular issue of the missing excavators seized as part of the Galamsey fight.
The Interministerial Committee, along with Operation Vanguard, were determined to disrupt Galamsey activities by confiscating equipment that were employed in these activities. In this regard, 12,000 Shangfan machines that go on the river and scoop up the riverbed were seized and destroyed on site. Some excavators were also seized, and a number of them have gone missing. The police have arrested and charged some of the alleged culprits, and investigations are ongoing. No one involved will be shielded, no matter what their positions or political colors are.
The President provided an update on the release of funds to pay depositors of defunct microfinance and savings and loans firms.
I'm informed that the receiver of the savings and loans and microfinance institutions will begin on Monday, the 24th of February, making payments to their customers. These monies, totaling 5 billion cedis, being in addition to 13 billion cedis being paid to the customers of the failed banks. We hope that lessons have been learned, and this will serve as a healthy caution to those who are offered unrealistic interest rates on deposits.
The President also touched on the resolve of government to deliver 2020 as the year of roads.
Mr. Speaker, when we declared last year, 2019, as the year of return, it was not because Africans in the diaspora had not been visiting Ghana throughout the years to reconnect with their past. We wanted to make a special year of it. We wanted to draw attention to it and inform the whole world we considered it important. That is the idea of the Year of Roads. There are legitimate cases to be made for emphasis to be placed on any of the many deficits in our infrastructure. This year, this government is saying we're putting the emphasis on roads. Gradually, the backlog of debts owed to contractors is being cleared, and many of them are able to go back to the jobs to finish them.
So just a quick of the highlights. The key issue moving into today's State of the Nation address has been the issue of Galamsey and how this government has succeeded or failed in the fight against Galamsey. The controversial, the vexed issue of the excavators has definitely come out. The president has touched on it. He says some of the excavators are missing and he failed to give further details, although he said action will be taken against any person who is found culpable. The minister who is in charge of sanitizing the environment is Professor Prof Frimpong Boateng. He's the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. He also chairs the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. He is here now to share with us what he has done so far in cleaning Ghana's environment.
We have done very well, and if we look at the evidence, we've done much better than most people will recognize, to the extent that other African countries are coming to learn from our experience. So we've done very well. I mean, look at where we started from. Now we've come to a point where the community mining has been accepted by Ghanaians, and about 25,000 people are doing their work there. The mining with impunity is no longer there. People hired to do that. People who were dying in the pits, death has reduced by about 90%, and this is very commendable. And also, if we look at the fact that it's no longer attractive to be here, we've done a very good job.
Prof, you have received a lot of flack in recent time about your involvement with respect to the fight in the Galamsey fight, specifically. Names have been mentioned. They said your son, they said even you yourself, you were directly involved. What is your response to this?
It is not true. I mean, look at me. I have been around for a very long time. I came back to Ghana from Germany at the age of 39 to set up the National Cardiac Tracing Center. The building there was constructed without a city contribution from the government. Now I've trained people. I reformed the Ghana Record Society, funded the Ghana Art Foundation to help. Everything that I've done in this world is for Ghanaians. I've not done anything for myself. Look at me. I've not taken bribe before. I've not extorted money from anybody before. I've not done anything wrong before. And it saddens my heart that people can associate me with illegality. This is wrong.
Prof, is your son involved in
He is not.
What is he involved in with respect to mining?
He is not involved in anything, and the world will get to know very soon.
There are calls for you to resign. Will you resign?
For what purpose?
They say you are failed and you are neck deep in it, allegedly. Will you resign?
I've told you. I mean, you are asking me about what you've done so far, and I've given you a run out. Do you think that with this assessment I should resign?
Prof, what percentage of the fight would you have say you've won in Galamsey?
I think I just said it a while ago.
Percentage specifically?
I think I would say 70%.
70%? Yes. You have failed by 30% then?
If that's your assessment, that is.
Where are the excavators, sir?
Every excavator that has been stolen will be found.
Why were they stolen? You were sleeping on the job, perhaps?
I was not sleeping on the job.
You have soldiers to guard excavators, yet they went missing. How did that happen?
Pardon me?
You have soldiers as part of the Operation Vanguard protecting these equipment. How did they disappear overnight?
No, they did not disappear overnight. I mean, you will get a fax pretty soon. I don't want to overstep what the security people are doing, the investigators. So let us be patient. You'll get the facts pretty soon.
How many are missing?
Please, you'll get the facts very soon. As I said, they are being investigated.
We should have these figures, shouldn't we, if we know how many we have seized?
You will get them pretty soon. please don't harass me. You'll get the facts soon.
Prof, if you say that you have won about 70% of the fight against Galamsey.
You look, we will talk about Galamsey at the appropriate time. Let's talk about.
But you have just said that you've won about 70%.
No, listen to me. You called me because you want me to comment on the State of the Nation address delivered by the President. Why don't you stay there? When you exhaust it, then we can have another time to talk about.
The state of the water bodies of the country is pretty much a state of the country. So Professor Prof Frimpong Boateng, the Minister for Environment, who is chairman of the IMCIM, the Interministerial Task Force on Illegal Mining, has just walked out of journalists who are asking questions in relation to the fight against Galamsey. He says he has done 70% success in the fight against Galamsey, but clearly there are questions that have to be answered, and these questions are what we are expecting to get from the professor, who is the chairman of the committee that has been set up by the President. We are picking reactions from the State of the Nation address, which was delivered to a one-sided house today. The Minister for Information and MP for Ofuasi Ayerbi has just walked out of the chamber. Let me have a quick conversation with him. First of all, I believe the major highlight would be the walkout, wouldn't it?
I think the major highlight is the State of the Nation address, the key issues that the President raised, how he has accounted for some of the key things that we've delivered so far, and what more remains undone that he hopes to complete in this first term, and God willing, when he gets a second term, execute.
Okay. So we'll talk about the fine details of that, but what do you make of the walkout as a Member of Parliament?
I think it's disappointing, I think it's irresponsible, and I'll tell you why. The State of the Nation's address is not a motion by a Member of Parliament. It's not a report by a chairman of a committee. It's not a statement by a minister. It's not the normal business of Parliament. It is a constitutionally mandated obligation that brings together various actors. The Chief Justice has to be here. The judiciary has to be here today. The Vice President has to be here. You cannot tell me that your presidential candidate has called that because he's not in favor of a new register, you should exit and demonstrate and create a scene about it. And therefore, that is the information we are getting. And therefore, you have abdicated your constitutionally given obligation. You have abdicated.
The President repeated the statement that you're going to pay persons who lost money due to the collapse of institutions and persons who were engaged in saving with institutions that have become suspect. When are you going to do that specific payment?
Actually, we should have a statement from the Ministry of Finance following the State of the Nation's address, a statement from the Ministry of Finance perhaps in the next 24 hours, providing some more clarity on the timelines. But the President needed to reiterate that major policy decision, which he announced first in December. He needed to reiterate it here, and then the details will flow from finance and I think the banks that are responsible for that.
Thank you. Information Minister Kojo Opon-Nkrumah, Minister for Information, Member of Parliament of Ofuasi Ayerbi. This is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. The minority side in Parliament has decided to stage the walkout. They did not sit through the proceedings to listen to the President when he came to give the State of the Nation's address. Instead, they have called the media to a press briefing to be addressed by the minority leader and Tamale South Member of Parliament, Haruna Idrisu. Let's hear what the reasoning for the walkout is.
Our reason, fundamentally, is that the democracy is dear to us, its future dear to us, and the people of Ghana expects the dividends of the democracy. And we consider President Nana Addo Dankwa an eminent threat to the sustenance of the democracy in some of his actions. You all know what happened in the Ayawasu West Wagon by-election in January 2019, which was state-sponsored terrorism and state-sponsored violence. Don't relate it to individual excesses in other areas like they mentioned Galamsey or Cherpune. In this particular case, it was officialdom that was sponsored to unleash venom and violence on a lead opposition party in a primaries or an election where they didn't need to manifest desperation. We are also, as a minority, very concerned with the interference with the work of the Electoral Commission in the compilation of a new voter register. And they have decided to turn deaf ears to the calls of Ghanaians, including the opposition National Democratic Congress and even civil society groups. How can a register, and probably you want to know why we walked out, We are questioning his legitimacy because the register that gave birth to him, he says is not legitimate. So is an illegitimate born of a birth of an illegitimate register, and want us to listen to him address the state of the nation. In what capacity? We are walking out because if these matters that you consider trivial are allowed to nurture as they are, we do not see the future of our democracy.
Also, members of the minority are just filing out of the press conference room, or the room where they held a press conference, to explain the position and the reasoning for boycotting, or not boycotting, but rather for walking out of the chamber when President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came to speak to Parliament, the representative of Ghanaians, and give them the state of the nation. As to whether they will return to the chamber to continue with the debate, which is slated for Tuesday, is another issue that is worth considering. This is still Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. We'll be bringing you all angles as you need to know on the State of the Nation address.